Beautiful souls, happy Tuesday. Welcome to this most glorious post-solstice weather that we are experiencing in the UK. It's amazing how it suddenly just perks us all up. It feels like it's been a really long winter, a very long wet spring, and suddenly we moved into solstice, and finally Sol has come out to bless us with her amazing codes, and we're really feeling the energy beginning to ramp up as we really enjoy those summer months. So I hope wherever you are really enjoying that weather and allowing yourself to be in a place of rest at the moment, allowing yourself to absorb everything that is coming through energetically in the field, what's coming through to your personal energy, but also what's going on in daily life. So we have moved from Gemini season into the watery depths of Cancer. And the one thing we'll really start to notice as the Gemini energies begin to truly wane is that frenetic energy, that real needing to be constantly on the go, just begins to wane and wane beautifully as we move into June. And June for me becomes a very long, hot month where we can truly take time to flow with the energy rather than fighting the energy, or rather than going with that very Gemini, constantly flitting around from places. So the one thing I really wanted to touch on today is a transit which is going to have effect from June to November, and for me it's going to be one of the most important transits of the year because it's all about us, it's all about our self-discipline, it's all about learning. So on the 29th, I've got to get this right, 29th of June, which I believe is Saturday, Saturn is going to go retrograde back through the watery depths of the mutable energy of Pisces. And this can bring up so much for us. So Saturn has been in Pisces for a while now, and it's a real place of discomfort for Saturn because she doesn't really like being there. Saturn loves structure, boundaries, foundations. She's the ruler of Capricorn actually, where it's all about applying your Saturnian discipline. If you know any Capricorns or people with strong Saturn placements, they're very disciplined, very focused. They like order, they like to create things which have firm foundational structures. In the watery depths of Pisces, she is really uncomfortable, and for many of us we will have been really feeling this energy on an either conscious or very subconscious level. It's this kind of monotone, this note that goes around. If you imagine the astrological chart at the moment is a symphony. We have the bass notes of the nodes, we have Sun making her noise, but we've got that Saturn, that sort of, it's almost like a monotonous bass note that keeps coming up through, reminding us, a bit like the drum, reminding us that we need to keep applying the discipline, keep going. It is like the drum, it's kind of the beat of the drum that we move round. So it may feel like after the past, since Saturn moved into Pisces, which date totally eludes me, but it's been most of this year. She started this year at 3 degrees of Pisces, so she'll have moved in at the end of 2023. But it's felt very uncomfortable for many of us because we may have felt like every time we have built something, the waters of Pisces have come to wash it away, because Pisces likes delusion, Pisces likes to be in illusion, Pisces likes to have that dreamy flow, but Saturn has got this discipline. So the two are really fighting against each other. So when we build in Saturnian discipline, Pisces comes and she sweeps it away. And what this is really asking us to do is to force us to see the reality within the fantasy that Pisces is creating, and it really forces us to look deep into the depths. And what is that saying about us? What is it saying about our character? Are we, I hasten to add, are we doing a little bit too much people pleasing at the moment? Are our boundaries quite loose, quite flowing? And depending on where your placements are. So if you know your chart really well, you can look at Pisces, you can look at what house it falls in, you can look at what personal planets you've got in Pisces as well, and that will give you a really good indication of what is going to be coming up for you in the next few months. If you don't know, drop me a DM. or you can get a free chart off somewhere like astro.com and just find out. But what I'm looking at more are the general themes of what I am seeing and what was channeled to me when I was really tapping into the energy. So it's been a really tricky transit. It's been really, really frustrating because it's asking us to see reality. It's asking us not to see the delusion. Delusion needs to depart. But Saturn now, today, as I just checked, she's almost at 19. She's at 19 degrees of Pisces. So she gets there. She's now, so I'm recording this on Tuesday, she's juddering to a halt. And then on Saturday, she begins to turn herself round and starts to go backwards once again through the degrees of Pisces from the 29th of June, going right back to 12 degrees of Pisces. So she's at 19, she will move to 12 degrees of Pisces until November, and then she'll start to move forward. So it is a really long transit, so it is really worth knowing what you've got in Pisces, and particularly what house it's going to come through, what is going to come up for you. So what I then do is really tune into the energy, tune into what's going on for the collective, but I've also tuned into my guides as well. But it can feel like a really heavy energy, leaving us feeling really lost and really literally at sea, not being able to know what is coming next. And this retrograde, the word that keeps coming up every time I've tuned into it, is all about boundaries. Okay, where do you need to create stronger boundaries in your life? It could be in your personal life, it could be in your work life, it could be with people that you care for, it could be for people who are on the periphery of your life. It could be that actually you need to apply some Saturnian discipline to your own spiritual practices, to your own manifesting, to whatever you can see where the leaks are. So it's almost like we have a chalice at the moment, and Saturn is trying to show you where are the leaks in the chalice, what needs repairing, and are you going to let that repair become really big to dissolve away, or are you going to shore it up? And there's this real feeling of, actually, if you've got this cup with leaks in, are you going to let the whole of the cup dissolve and then build your own, or are you going to put sticking plasters on it? It's the way I'm being shown, sticking plasters on it, and really hope and pray that those leaks hold up. And when I'm kind of looking at that image, and I'm just saying, honestly, you've got to imagine that cup is made of wet clay. You've got to let it all dissolve, create and craft your new chalice, and then go and fire that in when Saturn goes into Aries. But you're going to really use the fire of the sun to create a firm structure, so you can hold everything that you need to. You become the sacred vessel, you become the sacred container. So first question for you to ask yourself is, where do you need to create stronger boundaries? Are you having victim or saviour archetypes playing out in your life? You know, that can bring up a lot for us. Can you use this as a time of deep reflection where you can stare into the void, where you can see where you're not taking responsibility for your life, you're not taking responsibility for yourself, for your actions? It's a very uncomfortable place to be in. It takes us back to Scorpio season, doesn't it, where we're looking into that void for transformation. This is going to be a longer process, so we can use and harness this beautiful energy that we've got at the moment in the summer to be deeply introspective, to really look at ourselves. So many of us may take a summer holiday. That's a great time for really taking that moment to reflect. It's also going to come along and test our discipline and test our discernment. So I am seeing this a lot at the moment. If you're on social media, even if you're not, you know, who and what are you following? Are you being really discerning about the kind of energies that you are mingling with, or are you mingling with everybody in the hope that you are seen? Are you attracting in your tribe? Are you really listening to the words that speak and connect to your heart, or are you still watching and engaging with things that enrage you? And when you're in that place of deep reflection, you're also then going to ask the question of what else within your life needs to be washed away, what needs to dissolve, what do you need to do to create firm boundaries once again, what old habits and behaviours need to be dissolved. You may even find that you want to detox. So working with Saturn and applying her discipline has really worked for me. So I'll share you a little story. I had a few issues around my weight. I put a lot of weight on very, very quickly, and I knew there wasn't something right with me. So I've had some amazing treatment with a very beautiful lady, some bioresonance treatment, and that required me, while Saturn's going direct, as Saturn went direct over my Venus, my Black Moon Lilith, no boundaries, to apply the Saturnian discipline to get back into basically it was a detox diet. So it was an anti-candida, antifungal diet that I needed to do and apply that Saturnian discipline. Even though Saturn's in Pisces and it felt like everything was being washed away, applying that discipline to detox. So if you're really thinking about detoxing your life, whether it's physically through the things you eat, through the things that you drink, or detoxifying your people, you're going to find that this retrograde is the time to do it. If you haven't already done it, this retrograde is going to really encourage you to do it. But by applying that Saturnian discipline, I was able to reset my gut. I was able to work out with the help of Claire what I needed to give up in my life, and that sadly was very much gluten. And also an allergy to pork as well, which was causing a huge amount of issues. But the gluten was the most important thing, so gluten and oats as well. But by applying that discipline, that's really helped me, one, get back to normal, two, I've actually managed to lose over a stone now, but three, it's about teaching me that even in watery Pisces, if we're following Saturn's rules, we can really reap the rewards. So I just want to use that as an example of how you can use that Saturnian discipline to really detox either body or your life. Keep going. You've got to hold that vision and every day do the work towards it. So a couple of other questions to think about is, where do you need to surrender within your life? Where do you need to allow everything to be dissolved? Where do you need to be more accepting of self? Not necessarily of other people, but where do you need to be more accepting that you can't control at the moment, that you need to lean back and trust? And where can you be more flowing in life? And the final question I'd ask you is, can you be discerning about where you are spending your time, where you're spending your energy? I feel this is going to be a really potent Saturn retrograde. It's really going to activate parts of our chart that perhaps we don't really want to look at. It's going to really ask us to take some radical self-responsibility, and regardless of where it falls in your chart, it is going to be about discipline, discernment and boundaries. Really, really strong energy coming through. So the one thing I did, which is I sometimes do, is I tapped into the Collective Council of Light. So they're a group that I channel, so I call them my galactic multi-dimensional guides, and just asked for a little bit of their advice on this Saturn retrograde. So this is what they had to say. Beloved ones, transmutation of the old paradigms within and without yourself are required to allow deeper levels of light, solar coding and ascension energies to pour through. Nothing is without design. All points, way markers that lead you closer and closer to total realignment of the souls who reside within Gaia at this present moment in time. Dissolve to reform, disillusionment to create space for the new. Acceptance of that reality which is ever changing, ever shifting, and that foundations cannot be built on moving waters. Therefore, can you let go? Can you trust the divine to perform the work that is needed? Can you stare into the void honestly and see what needs to be changed? Can you allow the waters of the fish mother to wash away your shame, to wash away your guilt? And as Lady Saturnia spins backwards once again through the mutable waters, can you deeply surrender? Within this transit can be found much joy, if you allow, if you trust, and if you are prepared for alchemical transformation. This movement allows for deep personal growth, that which should be embraced and welcomed by the brave. beloved ones, let all dissolve and make way for rebirth and reformation of life and creation of solid foundations, forever walking with you as you fully allow yourself to trust and surrender. Know that this is but a speck of time within the infinite and part of service on your soul's pathway. For we are you and you are us. So, a few of my thoughts, a few of the collective council light thoughts on this Saturn retrograde, which is starting on Saturday, 29th of June. So I am sending you so much love. I hope you are well. I hope you're enjoying the sunshine, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about what you are going to expect from this Saturn retrograde. And if you are still listening, thank you. I am taking part in a global festival of manifestation. So I'm one of the 8 female speakers who are going to be speaking over 8 days about a deeply transformative experience. It's called Manifestival 888. I will be spamming all my socials, I'll be spamming my email talking about it because it is super exciting. We've got experts from Canada, the US, New Zealand, the UK and South Africa all getting together. And you also have the chance to become a partner as well, so to earn some money if you wanted to promote the event. But it is super exciting. Tickets start at $11.11, and that gives you 8 days access. There's also a VIP option and a VIP plus option where you get loads of free gifts and chance to access the speakers, ask them questions and discounts off services. But most importantly, it is about you becoming a super manifester. So if you're feeling that you're a bit you're kind of festering in your manifesting, drop me a comment below. In the comments I will put the link to find out some more information, but it's going to be super exciting. I wouldn't normally talk about my events, but yeah, it is going to be absolutely awesome. So sending you so much love, and may your Saturn retrograde allow you to surrender and find out who you truly are. Take care.